Today we are going to be going through a demonstration on how to do 6 different hand lettering techniques. At this point, grab a piece of scratch paper out of the center. Write your first name in uppercase letters evenly spaced across the paper. If your first name is only 4 letters, you might add 2 letters from your last name. 6 total letters. The first type of lettering that we're going to do is block lettering. And block lettering has sharp corners, like a block. Once I'm done tracing around the letter, I'll go back in with my pencil eraser and take away the pencil marks on the inside. If you had a block letter D, there might still be a rounded edge, but the corners are still sharp. Many of you already know how to do this block lettering. So we're going to make it a little more exciting. So on this one, I'm going to add some drips. Some drippy lettering. You might also want to do some flame lettering on top of your blocks. Next up, we have bubble lettering. Bubble lettering has rounded edges. Pretty simple. If I was doing a bubble Y, it could look like that. Something that I frequently see in graffiti around the Kansas City area is where the internal spot would be. So like for an A, a lot of times I see them use an X. You might also use something that's a little more your style. Maybe a heart. Next up, we have arrows. On my Y, in my pencil, I'm going to add an arrow onto it, on the parts that shoot off of the letter. Then I'll go in and just trace around it. What about a letter like an O? You might have the arrow kicking off of that side. So you can do it with just arrows or a 3D version with arrows. Next up, something that I see people frequently do is add on end caps to their letters. A dot is a pretty safe way to go, but you could also add in maybe some stars, maybe even some emojis. So however you want to add end caps, you can. Next up, we have swirly letters. This is a good way to fake that you know how to do cursive, even if you don't. If you do know how to do cursive, you might try to make your swirly letters even more complex. Uppercase or lowercase works for that. Last up, we have 3D letters. 3D letters start out like a block letter. Then you have to pick where your light source is coming from. You don't need to draw the arrow, but I will. You then need to use a 45-degree angle coming off of all the corners opposite of the light. This line should be parallel to that line. Then I would go in and add my shading. What if I wanted a 3D letter that has a rounded shape? I would pick my light source, 45-degree angles, and then give myself a parallel line. You would also have the inside corner getting that light as well. You can combine these to create your own types of lettering styles, or maybe you don't want to use these lettering styles at all. Just be creative. You got it.